Are you thinking about buying a home in Lexington, Kentucky, but you're hesitant? You don't want to make any mistakes that you'd end up regretting for years to come? Like closing and then realizing the home is basically falling apart, or leaving thousands of dollars on the table that you could have kept in your pocket if only you'd known better? If I'm speaking to your soul, then this video is for you. I'm breaking down the 10 biggest mistakes I see buyers make and how you can avoid them. Let's go. Mistake number 10 is that they don't think through the resale value. The average homeowner stays in their home just 5 to 7 years, which means before they know it, they'll be thinking about selling. And yet, when they're deciding on which home to buy, they often only think about what they want. And in the moment, this feels great. Highway noise nearby, doesn't bother me. Bad schools, we don't have kids, no biggie. But it's the little things like that that you might not think are big deals at the time that can really hold you back when you're trying to sell. Other common examples are a super sloped driveway, backyards that look directly into the eyes of 4 different neighbors, or not caring that the HVAC and the roof are 15 years old because they have enough life left in them, right? Except a few years later when you're trying to sell, they're over 20 years old, and most buyers don't want to close only to cough up another $10,000 for a new roof next month. These things turn off a lot of buyers, so even if you're cool with it, you could be shooting your future self in the foot and losing thousands of dollars in months of time. The takeaway? Start with the end in mind. Mistake number 9, they don't think through the reality of what living somewhere will be like. This is especially hard for first-time homebuyers since they've never lived through the pain of a bad purchase before. But here are some things to stop and think about before moving forward with a home. How are the neighbors? Are there 12 cars in the driveway and a chainsaw going off behind the privacy fence over there? Or where's the laundry located? If it's in the basement, are you prepared to hike up and down the stairs every time to do laundry? Or what's the commute like to all the important things in life? It's little details like these that add up into your overall experience, and they can make or break a home for you. So taking the time to really imagine every detail in advance can save a lot of pain and frustration. Mistake number 8, they don't even consider new construction homes, which can be seriously amazing options, especially if you're not in a hurry, because building a home takes time. Some pros include choices, like the floor plan, style preferences, tiny little details like fixtures and hardware, paint and flooring. Also, the fact that everything has a brand new lifespan. So that HVAC, the new roof, the new everything. So when you do end up selling in 5 to 7 years, you don't have to replace any of the big ticket items and potentially anything at all. Also, most new construction homes come with a 1-year builder's warranty where the builder will come back and fix any issues that happen in the first year free of charge. And lastly, a lot of times builders offer incentives to help cover buyer closing costs and keep more money in your pocket. With every list of pros, there are also cons. Something to consider on the new construction side is that some builders have bad reputations, and they've earned that reputation. Builders are humans too, and they make mistakes. So just because it's brand new doesn't mean it's perfect. Which is why I strongly recommend that you still get a home inspection on a new construction home. And I will go into why this is so important in more detail in another video soon, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out. Mistake number 7 is that they don't make lenders compete for their business. Please note that I did not say use the cheapest lender out there, because usually you get what you pay for. What I am saying is to pick the lender that you want to use, the one who is highly recommended, over 100 5-star reviews on Google, and then get quotes from a couple of the cheapo lenders out there, bring them back to your favorite lender, and ask them to match the rate or slash some fees so they can compete. This way, you'll get to use the very best lender out there, but you'll also get amazing rates and fees. Special note on this, make sure to use a local lender whenever possible and to avoid big box lenders. I'm talking USAA, Navy Federal, because in those type of big box situations, people are just a number in a queue. You'll speak to a different representative every single time. They won't be familiar with your situation and your specific market, which this can totally bite you in the ass. If you're moving to Lexington and you don't know who to use, I do. Hit me up. Number 6 is that they don't back plan. So a normal closing from the date your offer is accepted until the closing table is 30 to 45 days. But most buyers don't find the one the first day they go out on showings. Sometimes it takes weeks or even months. And so this in mind, I recommend getting the ball rolling at least 90 days before you want to be turning the keys and moving into your new house. And I can hear it now. But what if I find the one early on and my lease isn't up for a couple more months? Well, we could request a longer closing timeline, or we could request that the seller contribute to the cost of breaking your lease early. Another one I hear a lot is, I need to sell before I can buy, and I don't even know how to plan for that. Well, you are not alone. So many people are in the exact same position, and lining up the pieces of the puzzle is not impossible, it just takes planning and strategy. Takeaway, if you want to avoid falling into a home you don't love because you're short on time, then get started planning now. Mistake number 5 is not taking inspections seriously. Why does this happen? Well, inspections cost money and buyers want to save. Since the cost of buying the home can already be expensive, but this is the #1 spot where you don't want to take shortcuts. I have had homes look beautiful, totally updated cosmetically, perfectly landscaped, only to find out that they're like eaten alive with termites and basically falling apart, or have super high radon levels, or have an insane amount of mold in the attic. Discovering these things before you close will help you make the decision as to whether or not you actually want the house. Total cost of inspections, if you do a general home inspection, radon inspection, and termite inspection, which is, by the way, the bare minimum that I recommend, this total cost is around $800, but it could save you thousands and thousands of dollars in years of pain. I'm not exaggerating. Do not worry, my team and I help people buy and sell right here in Lexington every single week, and we're here to make sure that these mistakes do not happen. So if you're thinking about making a move, feel free to reach out. All of our contact info is in the description below or pinned to the top of the channel. Mistake number 4 is not negotiating, or worse, not even knowing that you can negotiate. So this is what happens. People start thinking about submitting an offer on a home and they wonder, what should I offer? And the cool thing is, there's data out there that can help you make a decision. We're not just shooting in the dark here. Your agent can go back to the computer and pull up the stats on everything that sold in the past 6 months in that specific neighborhood. You can see how much homes were listed for versus what they sold for. You can see how much seller concessions were given to buyers. You can see how many price drops have already occurred to gauge how motivated the seller is. All of this data will help you craft an offer that is likely to get accepted without leaving thousands of dollars on the table. This mistake continues, not just with offering, but the fact that there's another round of negotiations after you do those inspections that we talked about earlier. At this point, you're looking at the results in the inspection and you can decide if you want to ask for a price reduction, if you want to ask for the seller to do repairs on your behalf. All of this negotiations is a dance, and when buyers don't know how to dance, they waste money and miss out big. Mistake number 3 is not reading the fine print. And I'm not talking about the contract itself, although yes, that is important. I am talking about the HOA bylaws or neighborhood restrictions. So these are not suggestions. They are rules that you're agreeing to live by. They can decide if you're allowed to rent out your place when you move, park your RV, put up a fence, whether or not you can have a specific type of dog. If you skip reading these, you might end up with restrictions you hate or fines that you do not see coming. Mistake number 2 is not budgeting properly. So most buyers think that the cost of the home and the down payment is what it takes to buy a house, and that's it. But here's the truth, your wallet is going to meet a lot more people before this process is over. You've got closing costs, you've got inspections, an appraisal. None of these things are free. And then even after you buy the home, there's also home maintenance because things will break and ongoing upkeep, paint, landscaping, new roof someday. This is your problem till forever, until you sell. So having reserves, money tucked away for those surprise, oh no moments, which will happen, is so important. And if you skip this step, you're not just unprepared, you're one unexpected, this is really hard. You're one unexpected expense away from hating the home that you've worked so hard to buy. And the biggest, #1 mistake that I have seen buyers do is not using a real estate agent. Buyers are technically responsible for paying for their own agent, but culturally here in Lexington, sellers are still paying for the buyer's real estate agent, which means that buyer's agents are almost always free. So why wouldn't you want someone in your corner who knows the process in and out, can spot red flags, and save you time, stress, and way more money than you even realize? Skipping an agent is like walking into a courtroom without a lawyer. Sure, you can do it, but why would you take the risk if you don't have to? Speaking of risk, you can avoid some by watching What's Up Next, which is the 10 things I wish I knew before moving to Lexington. Thanks for hanging. Peace.